Former mayor of San Diego, Kevin Faulconer, is one of the candidates hoping to unseat Governor Gavin Newsom in the recall election. Kevin joining us now. And first, in general terms, tell us why you'd like to be the next governor of California.
It's great to be with you, Alan. Thank you. It's very directly going to make our state more affordable and more livable. I'm going to bring my experience as mayor of San Diego, where we turned our city around, and because now it's time to turn our state around. And what we did in San Diego by reducing homelessness. I did not allow tent encampments on the sidewalk. And as the mayor of our second largest city, I knew how important safe neighborhoods were. And so while others across our state were defunding the police, I stood up strongly against that, did not defund the police, actually increased the budget, because I know that we don't have anything if we don't have safe neighborhoods and safe cities. So it's about providing that middle class tax cut for Californians that I'm so passionate about and keeping our neighborhoods safe.
That tax cut you mentioned, you pushed this plan that you have for what you say would be the largest middle class tax cut in California history. Tell us a little bit more about that.
It is, and we need to. I mean, the fact of the matter is our state is too expensive. People are voting with their feet. They're leaving California. And so I know we need lasting, real relief for Californians, not just a one-time stimulus check. And so, for example, joint filers will, under my plan, will receive $4,000 that they get to keep in their pocket instead of sending it to Sacramento. And to put that in kind of real-world terms, that's enough for 8 months of utility bills or 8 months of groceries or 92 tanks of gas. The issue is not that we don't send enough money to Sacramento, we do. We need to let Californians keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets where it belongs. Our state has to be more competitive, and we have to make it more affordable for our families to live here and make it rational for our seniors to retire here.
So if you're cutting taxes, money has to come from somewhere. People who ask, well, how are you going to pay for what you have planned? What's your answer?
Yeah, the fact of the matter is, of course, our state's running a surplus, $70 billion this year, taking too much from hardworking Californians. So it's about letting folks, as I said, keep more of their hard-earned money in their own pockets, because if we don't, folks are going to continue to leave our state because it's too expensive. So I'm going to focus on, again, what I believe is important: affordability and keeping our neighborhoods safe and our neighborhoods clean, just like I was able to do as mayor of San Diego.
Certainly one of the major crises facing Californians is COVID and the pandemic. What is your stance on the vaccine mandates?
Well, I want everybody to get vaccinated, first and foremost. I can't say that enough. I'm vaccinated. My family is vaccinated. And I also believe that our way out of this is to educate. That's how we're going to get more and more Californians to step up and to get vaccinated and to do the right thing. We're not going to mandate our way out of COVID-19, but the more we educate Californians, the more we're going to continue to see those vaccination numbers rise, and that's exactly what we want.
So mask mandates, kids in school, what about that?
Well, I'll tell you, not only am I a candidate for governor, but I'm a dad. I had 2 kids in public school. In fact, my daughter just graduated. She should have been in school this past semester. There was no reason why our public schools should have been closed, particularly when our private schools were open, where teachers were safely teaching and kids were safely learning. So as governor, I am going to ensure that all of our public schools are safely reopened, because there's no substitute for a good quality teacher in the classroom. We saw how Zoom learning just doesn't work.
You touched on a couple of these things, but how would you rank the governor's handling of the pandemic, and how would you have handled things differently?
Yeah, I think you're seeing that anger and frustration, this governor's failure on the pandemic response. And as I said as mayor, we have to save lives, and we also have to save livelihoods. And the fact that so many of our small businesses in California were opened and closed because of the constant changing metrics that this governor that really sowed confusion across our state. Again, I'm going to stand up to make sure we keep people healthy, we keep people safe, but also know that we have to keep people employed and our businesses open. And the devastating impact that had on our small businesses, particularly our Latino small businesses in California, I think just goes to show how out of touch this governor was.
What was your thought when you saw the photos of the governor dining at the French Laundry restaurant?
Well, like all Californians, was angry, especially because it was, the governor's approach was do as he says, not as he does. And I think the fact of the matter is that Californians, it just really reinforced how out of touch this governor is. And look, you have to lead by example. We want everybody to do the right thing. And so, again, by saying one thing and doing another, I think that's why you saw so many Californians, 2 million strong, that signed this recall petition, and Californians from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, Republicans, Democrats, Independents. And so I think people are really looking at this recall as a way to make a change at the top, and to bring a governor in that has the experience, can pull our state together. And I've saying very clearly to everyone, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or an independent, I ask for your help. I ask for your vote to really bring our state together, to turn us around. I have a lot of experience doing that as mayor of San Diego, and I'm going to take that exact same approach statewide.
Well, another current crisis, of course, is the wildfires. What's your plan to protect Californians from this growing threat? It's growing year after year.
It is growing, to your point, and the unfortunate reality is that this governor has not taken the steps necessary to keep us safe. I've said very clearly, I'm going to put our state on a war footing when it comes to wildfire prevention, not only and declare a state of emergency that allows us to do the fuel reduction and the brush management that this governor simply won't do. And unfortunately, he comes out year after year and doesn't take those steps. And in fact, as we found out, he actually cut the CAL FIRE wildfire prevention budget last year, took credit for treating acres that never actually happened. So again, I'm going to have a dramatically different approach that says it's about action. It's about getting in, as I said, clearing out, making those emergency fire breaks and access points. We have to do that. You cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So I will have $1 billion of funding every year for this fuel reduction and fuel management. We're long overdue for that in California. And again, everybody knows what the right thing to do. You have to have the political will to do it. So I'm asking folks, not only this plan, but my plan on homelessness. They can go to my website at kevinfaulconer.com and see very detailed action plans, because what our state needs right now is action.
Well, you talked about the homeless during your time as mayor in San Diego. How are you going to tackle this statewide?
Lead by example as governor. That's what's been missing. I did as mayor of San Diego. I did not allow tent encampments on the sidewalk in San Diego. Why? Because we care about people. We care about people enough not to let them die in a tent on our sidewalks and streets. And that's what happens when you allow encampments. So I set up a series of shelter networks. I picked the location myself. And I made a deal with the community. I said it's going to be cleaner and safer with this shelter than before it was there. And I put in the shelters, not just beds, it was the wraparound services, the job training, the mental health, substance abuse, to really make a bridge from the street to a place that somebody can call their own. And it worked. What I did is I enforced our quality of life. I am going to do that as I did in San Diego. I'm going to do that statewide, because again, we care enough about people enough not to let them live and die on the streets in an unsafe, unclean, unsanitary environment. It is time to intervene. I did in San Diego, and we became the only big city in California where we actually reduced homelessness by double digits. So this is something I feel very strongly about, very passionately about. It is time for real leadership, and it is time to intervene on the street. We will as a state when I'm governor.
Kevin Faulconer, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to the election. The last day to vote is September the 14th. All right, for more information about the recall election and other candidates vying for governor, Newsom's seat, you can head to kpix.com/recall.